Go ahead, Shayna. Thank God for
Welcome.
editing.
This is the Safe and Secure podcast, and I'm Shayna, your host. This is my co-host Shay, and we're here to open-minded women creating a safe space.
Yes,
Talk
that we
about
can talk
anything.
about anything with no judgment. We are two open-minded women that we created a safe space where you can talk about anything with no judgment.
No judgment.
Yes.
And I am Raul Guzman.
Today, we have a special guest.
Wait,
here.
hold on. Did we mess up the intro right now?
We did.
Yeah,
And
we
you
did.
know what?
I think she said my part.
She did. You know what? Let me tell y'all.
She
You know
forgot.
why we're not gonna do this over is because y'all need to know that I have messed up today, and I don't want y'all to know that I'm okay with that. We're learning.
We're safe.
learning. It's a
Yeah.
what's the word?
What?
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
Just
Trust the
progress.
process.
It's a trust the process. Safe and secure.
You know who we are. You see episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
This is
7.
This the 7th one?
Yeah.
7.
Oh, wow.
Fire,
Perfect.
right?
All right.
Yes.
All right.
That's a good number.
Today our guest is Cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
He goes by Cav Wins on Instagram and everywhere else. Cavalier, artist, brother, father, scholar, activist, community supporter. Get your shit together. Grow some shit. Get your mind right.
Mm-hmm.
Did I?
Facts.
Do I need to? Do you need to add anything else to that?
Nah, you said it all. You said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're really excited that you're here, by the way.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
So, what's going on with you? Who's Cavalier?
I am those things, I believe, that you mentioned earlier. I am an artist, a rapper from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, currently residing in New Orleans, sometimes residing in Oakland. And yeah, I'm in New York recently, or most recently, promoting my current album, which is Different Type Time, on Backwood Studios, recently released last week. And yeah, and I start tour on Wednesday.
Wow. Okay, so what album is this?
This is my third formal release.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
technically, yeah.
So, okay, I know you personally, so this is like special to me,
Me
but
too.
at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, oh, where do I start? Because there's so many memories I have. When I first was introduced you to through my friend Crystal, of course. Shout out to my boo. I used to go to your speakeasies, and it was always packed.
Yeah.
And from that era, where were you at? Like, what was those days like? 'Cause I think I was like 22 and
The
23?
speakeasy started, I think, as an experiment. I felt a call to action I felt like I was having the same conversation with artists all around, and I was fortunate enough to exist in multiple artist communities. At the time, I was working with youth in the Bronx, in Hunts Point, and Tats Crew, the famous
Okay.
graffiti crew, is based there.
I'm like, I don't know, but I
Yeah,
hear
but I
about
learned-
all of these.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I know the community.
they're like
has
an
those things.
institution in the Bronx, and it's just you're really close to
Mhm.
a lot of the epicenter of hip hop culture.
Mhm.
I got to observe artists in a space like that, for example, or visual artists or photographers. All of these different creators were expressing the same things about wanting to feel connected or more, how do I say, like, that they knew their art represented more than just themselves as individuals, and also sharing difficulties about how to break out in their various industries, especially around that time. Maybe because we were young, but I think also a lot of industries were changing, like definitely the music industry.
Yeah.
So that was like around the blog era. Those were the gatekeepers, and if you weren't on their radar, you had a difficult time.
Okay.
I
To
think
be
kind of, yeah.
Put out.
be
like,
seen.
Definitely outside your region.
Okay.
So a lot of us built strong artist communities where we were. And I got to float between a lot of them. And I was like, what if I could contribute bringing a way to bring these people together,
I will say this, opposed to what I see now, when I started coming around your crowd and the different artists and getting a better just understanding of, okay, I feel like this is familiar.
It's a whole culture.
It's a culture. And when I tell you, I felt so safe. There
the
was
energy
packed.
was dope, right?
It was good food. It was fresh food. It was good vibes, good people, different
good
people
weed.
with attire. You know what I'm saying? And it was no problems, no fights, no shoot. No, it was like, and I met different people just by just
all around
being around you. And
so that era, we did the first one at my house, and I think I had a friend that was a bartender. Yeah, shout out to 1084 forever. I lived in Bushwick, as y'all know. We did the first one in my apartment in the building. I think over 80 people came. They were mostly artists from all over the city. A friend of mine is a caterer. We set up a bar. We had like we had real food and, real appetizers and stuff like that. And it was free. And I took everyone's email address and it turned into a salon. By salon meaning like an art share, right? Okay. People, and that's something you hear about in other eras, especially in New York's culture, definitely in the Harlem Renaissance and periods afterwards, right?
That's what it felt like when I was coming around. I was like, yo, I just love this vibe. And people were going to school, doing their art thing, working 2-3 jobs. We mad young. We're mad young. And these brothers are so organized. Still to this day, you're like that, So it's like, if I felt like, okay, I like this. It felt like, when you grew up in elementary school, how it was always, speaking about the community and cleaning up and activists. And it was like, I feel like high school, I kind of slowed down of, different type of crowds. But when I came back around y'all, introduced to y'all in my 20s, it was like, wow, I like this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how organized it looked.
Okay.
At that time, I knew that there were artists in the city, many of whom were on their way. Like when I name them now, and people are like, oh, you know that person? I'm like, not only do I know them, we performed in their crib, in their living room, right? So I wanted people to be able to have access to that type of talent and not be in a pretentious environment. Like it was very intentional. It wasn't an open mic. So every neighborhood we did a speakeasy in, the people who performed were from that neighborhood, even if they were famous. Right. So we did a speakeasy at Bilal's crib. You know what I mean? We did a speakeasy. Homeboy Sandman is like a well-known rapper.
Who's Bilal?
Bilal the singer, Grammy-winning singer. You know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying? Well, I do know when I used to come to your speakeasy, I used to see actors and I see musicians. I'm like,
yeah.
And you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Right. They would just in there.
And I was never on no like, oh my God.
Right.
We wasn't on that type of time.
No.
Because that wasn't that type of vibe. You didn't have
like
that type of crowd.
Nah.
It was like
it felt like family. So we did one in the Bronx and Pete Rock pulled up with another well-known rapper, Curious, and they came and got plates of food and it's like, would you have been able to be that close to Pete Rock at his show?
Right.
Probably not. And this was in the Bronx. That was deep in the Bronx. Yeah. We were in the basement of a building. Martha Alicia has murals all around the city, and her son were painting live.
Who's Martha Alicia? That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, so she's a well-known painter and muralist and illustrator. And there's big murals in New York City that we walk past that are done by her hands.
And it's been there forever. One thing I love about your crowd, like I was always educated on something. I wasn't around this group.
Always learning.
Right. I wasn't around this group. I didn't feel drained. I felt like I got to make space for some of this stuff because like this is dope. I'm learning again.
I was too,
you know,
I was too. You got to hear the stories about some of those neighborhoods from the people who live there. Like, I still this day, I still get a lot of love in Washington Heights. And that's because on both sides of the Heights, we did speakeasies and their community was involved. So in one of them, someone gave a breakdown about the history of the neighborhood. When we did one in Harlem, it was a blizzard in Harlem. It was a blizzard in the city that year. And we did one at an artist's crib. And still 100 people came. We cooked food. They painted a mural on the wall in her apartment, multiple artists. But then, some of the people there, they've lived in Harlem generations. They started going in about the history, some of the untold history about Harlem.
That you gotta
and they
keep
just
safe.
shared that. And that was in between the raps and singing. And again, it wasn't an open mic. It might turn into something at the end, usually a party.
Yeah,
it was a lot of storytelling, some real storytelling that's like,
it was like something that you talked like for months.
Yeah. Yo, I remember I want to go back and when they having another one.
And you didn't have to pay to get in.
Yeah.
But you could pay get a plate of food.
It was
we didn't turn nobody away if they had no money.
It was so important that you were networking and I'm witnessing this and I'm not even like into, you know, hip hop that deep,
Yeah.
but it was more like just.
It wasn't even. It was hip hop
personal, it was poetic,
spirit, but it wasn't about hip hop music
Right.
exclusively. Like we
Right.
had Treasure sang at the speakeasy.
Oh my
like,
God, I love
we had
Treasure.
singers there. You know,
her
we
voice
featured
moves me.
Poets. You
Yeah.
know.
Dancers too.
Yeah, it was all
Yeah,
types
you
of
had
stuff.
mad
yeah.
different people behind the scenes, editors, people acting, people in the movies, people writers. You had so much different people around you. Like that culture,
It was so much art
like
in that.
that's
room.
how I was introduced to you. And I was like,
That's how I was introduced to a lot of artists in the community over time.
Right.
You know, so.
I know that you went to a really good school.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, like, what made you have that courage to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna start music and I'm gonna go on, you know, go with this direction. And I know it's kind of like difficult to make that choice, especially growing up in a Caribbean household.
Oh yeah.
You know, that they, you know, they want us to go to school, be a doctor, be a lawyer, you know. So what made you be like, hey, this is what I want to do? Like, what gave you
It wasn't.
courage?
It wasn't a single like courageous moment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think I dealt with the pangs of failure.
Got
Like
it.
I never felt like I really failed like that before.
Mhm.
So when something in my life didn't pan out the way that I guess everyone expected it to,
Mhm.
it was like devastating. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I got
I couldn't even articulate really what I was going through. I also, when I left my environment, I got hit with a lot of like strange paradoxes. And when I say that to mean like I'm in these places and spaces because I'm supposed to be escaping my environment.
right.
Facts. Okay.
But then I get there and I'm faced with some of the same dangers, if not worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, I went to school and there was people selling more drugs than I could have ever.
I can imagine.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
we see it every day, and it's like I seen it in high school.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't know.
can
I didn't know. I
imagine.
wasn't prepared for that part of it. Like I
Okay.
wasn't prepared. Like everybody, you know, even after leaving school or anything like that, I was recently telling my homie, like, the neighborhoods that we're from, you grew up, everybody told you were supposed to leave.
Right.
And we leave, and then you like try to like enter the job space or you go to school or something, and now everybody's returning to compete to where you just left from. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And now like your grandmother might lose her apartment. It's
Right.
like, you know what I mean? And that's like real life. So those things I couldn't like articulate, but the way they affected me put me kind of like not in a space of understanding with my family members, I think. Because I was like, this shit is a different.
Because it's like I want to do I feel passionate about this.
This nigga Nova in the building. My fault. This nigga Nova in the building.
It's all good. It's all good. We have editing is real, so don't worry about it. But I was saying, how did you feel when you came back home and you told your parents, like, just a little snippet?
Oh, I didn't tell them nothing.
You just
Just
did
did your own
you?
thing.
No, I didn't do my own thing either. I basically ran away. I ran away from
Oh,
everything.
wow.
That's how I handled problems back then. I would
Back
run away.
then.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but I would just be out. Now, I guess like a part of that maybe is cultural on some Brooklyn shit. Cause when I got around other people, let's say socially as an adult, even till this day, especially people not connected to where I'm from, and we go somewhere and it's kind of like not my scene or not my vibe or I don't feel comfortable, I'll be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like that too.
I'm like, I'm out. I'm not upset.
I'm not about to
Yeah.
explain.
I'm not
not
even
a-
upset. It don't need an
You know what?
explanation.
I think I got something going on.
I don't even say all
I
that.
don't even
I don't
say
say all
nothing. I
that.
don't be
Yeah,
like,
be out.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
leaving.
like the champion of
That's
Apache
why I love
goodbyes.
them.
Like
Yeah.
I really just be out of here. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not meant to be rude though, and I think there's times where that energy comes off as like maybe standoffish or
Like, oh, he think he better than me.
yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
He's educated.
At the
He's
same
smart.
time, like doing that as like a survival mechanism
Yeah.
past just social situations
It's
isn't
real
the best thing.
survival
yo.
mechanism. Like,
Especially for a man.
it's so
Yeah.
real today.
Yeah, I would just be out.
You
Yeah.
just don't want no explanation. I think back then, I'm still kind of like I'm half and half, but back
Yeah.
then it was like you want to be around people, but you don't want to come off rude, but you still in your passion. You want to
Yeah.
network, but you want to be rude. You want to support. It's just like you just like nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See ya, I'm out.
So I was out and I think I had to find myself. I know people be saying that, but like,
no. It's a
I,
real
Yeah,
thing.
I
I
love
was-
that.
I was
It's a
like-
real thing.
yeah, I explored psychedelic drugs a bit ahead of my peers. It wasn't really cool like that to other like black teenagers and black young
No.
adults, they wasn't really, and I'm not promoting that now
No,
either.
I get it.
You
You're
know what
telling
I'm
your
saying?
story.
I explored some of that. I realized the privilege I had through immigrant parents to leave the country. Like I went to Trinidad for like a month. People forget, like that was all part of it. It wasn't one singular thing. I don't even think at that time my family fully understand why I went. Like, oh, he's working on something, but they didn't know really
Yeah.
what I was doing.
You kept it real like low.
I kept it low because I also was like,
You had a plan.
no, I didn't. I just knew I wasn't ready.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't time, yo. Like I'm cooking, I'm learning, I was observing, and but whatever it was, I knew that I was on my journey for real because nothing else felt right.
Right. You was on the quest to like try to find
Yeah, nothing
yourself.
else felt right. I was like, this is where I'm at, where I'm supposed to be at. Like it don't have to make sense to everybody.
No, and it's really don't because you are your biggest. You have to be your own biggest supporter. Like
And that's
in
really
whatever you're
brave
doing.
at that young age to like try to find
Seriously.
yourself, you know?
It didn't feel brave at the time.
Yeah.
Like,
But talking about it now is like, wow.
you know,
You were ahead of the game. to be
some of
quite
it. Some
honest
of it
with
was also like, and it's gonna sound really messed up, but even when you're doing the things that are giving you like opportunities as a young black man, everybody's still telling you that you're supposed to die. You know what I'm saying? So there's a fatalism in it, in the sense that like I was kind of like, you know, I could die. Like, yeah, let me just do this
Yeah.
shit. You never know. Let
Right.
me fuck with some of this shit now. Like,
Let me get this out the way.
yeah, or
Yeah.
just whatever. Like,
Whenever I need to, let me just get it.
yeah, and also like I don't even fully come to terms with the value of my own life. So I'm willing to make choices that sometimes are careless. Like Shaka told me once, I told him a story about, you know, I was on the road and the car broke down. We was on the road doing some silly shit we wasn't supposed to be doing anyway. And the car breaks down. And we just happened to make it as the car's breaking down off the highway into the parking lot of a Holiday Inn. It was like, pop, 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 right? But I'm with like two,
That's some real movie.
some real
shit.
movie,
Like,
Yeah.
right? I'm like a teen. I'm like 19, right? I'm
Oh
with,
my
and I'm with
God.
like two Haitian niggas already now, suspect. You know what I'm saying? And we break into the
Yeah, yeah.
and
mhm.
I'm a sprightly fellow, right? I'm like a Tom Cruise size nigga. I was gonna come on here running around. And we're in the parking lot and we're like random somewhere upstate New York, really.
Oh
really
my
random.
God, man, scary.
So we're like, yo, we're gonna have to figure out leaving or whatever, but we're gonna do this in the morning. It's like 3 a.m. So
We
we
got
try to
slept.
sleep in the car in the parking lot. We try to
Okay,
sleep in
okay,
the car. All
perfect.
right. I'm Gucci in the back seat, me chilling. I went to sleep.
This green.
They
giant.
wake me up. These two Haitian niggas is in the front struggling. Like, you know, like, yo, we can't do this. Like, we got to get out of here. So I was like, all right, we could break up in the Holiday Inn. So we broke into the Holiday Inn and they had a lounge with TVs and couches. I was like, yo, sleep here in the morning. Everybody gonna think we was like whatever.
Exclusive.
You know what I'm saying?
Exclusive.
Right?
But it's not even that deep.
Oh.
We didn't take nothing. It's not like we just, I guess that's trespassing. That was a long time
That
ago.
was trespassing.
But I think that was,
You broke in.
it was safer than sleeping in the car though.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't go in
So
no
that wasn't
rooms.
safe and
We didn't go
secure.
in no room. Yeah, it wasn't-
Basically, the
it wasn't-
Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
The Holiday Inn wasn't safe and secure.
Wasn't
Right.
safe and
It was
secure.
safe.
It was safe.
It was
but
safe.
secure.
But it wasn't
It
secure.
wasn't secure. And the whip was, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was safe.
So
nor
y'all didn't
secure.
have no gas. Like, so basically, y'all didn't have no gas.
We had no way to move the vehicle. Like it.
Y'all
like,
could have pushed
literally-
it, even
Nah, we was on upstate, random New York,
though. Okay.
dark, like in the
Yeah, I
parking
ain't
lot of
know
house.
what to do.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
nowhere
It's like
to go.
woodsy out
Yeah,
there.
There was nowhere to go. But this is the thing. A hotel has other resources. That's why that made sense to me at the time. I was
Right.
like, yo,
You was
Yeah.
on your
you go in there.
thinking
First of all,
stuff that you always
it's
do.
not going to be hard for us to get inside,
Mhm.
right? We did have to hop and things, you
Mhm.
know, do some things. But when we got in there, I found a lounge. I knew they would have a lounge. They had a lounge. It was couches and a TV.
Okay.
We could just be chilling here like we guests and whatever. And we slept in the lounge. And then in the morning, we went to concierge and
He
was
is
like,
that
yo,
smart.
our whip broke down. Call Enterprise. And they call Enterprise. And at that time, Enterprises, you know, they come pick you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they picked us
I
up.
don't know if they do now.
I don't know. They did it back then. They picked us up. So I told Shaka that, and he was like, he told me like maybe like a year later how he almost like really envied how fearless he thought I was at that time.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But that's not how I felt. When he told me that now as an adult later on,
Because I'm like,
I was like, nah, it wasn't fearless.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't
Okay.
care about my own life. Like I didn't care if it went
You
wrong.
was
I didn't
just-
care. I just didn't
You
care.
was-
And that's not a positive. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So what he looked at as fearless, it was actually reckless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just was
'Cause
like,
you
yo,
guys did
whatever.
break in.
You do whatever you can at the moment. That's
Right.
not really the way to live. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I
Yeah.
got you.
Well, shout out to you for surviving that, okay?
For real.
Gangster
Shout out
shit,
to you.
You know what I mean? Holiday
real.
in.
Holiday
That's
in.
Holiday out.
It's holiday in.
Holiday in.
Good.
Gangsta shit.
We slept good that night.
Listen, I'm
Y'all sure
happy that
did.
you guys did that, man. Like, who would have thought that? Not like, okay, we not gonna talk about that anymore. So, real quick, you were talking about him going to procedure school and everything. So, when you said you went to you didn't tell your parents.
Nah. I ain't tell nobody really nothing.
How do
There's
you-
nothing to tell yet.
What was
Here's
that
how I
like?
fucked up, Mom.
What was that
Would you like the details? I started using
How
drugs.
scared were you?
Unprotected sex. Almost. Let's see. Didn't go to class. Ever really. Let's see. Didn't feel supported by the black people around me.
Yeah, you guys are horrible.
Thought they were trying to kill me. Lot of crazy stuff,
A
Mom.
lot of girls.
Nah, wait, what you
Like,
that
mo-
part? That's in the
hormones
notes.
is- No,
talking
it's
about a
not.
lot of
No,
girls.
no. I'm just saying you outside.
You see how she tried to a lot of girls.
He was in school.
Tried to write.
He said he was in school.
I ain't say nothing about no girls.
He said that was in the notes. You didn't tell
That
me
was wild. Like, wait, you
You said you
if
was
some
in
guests
school.
start
You
walking on here, that'd be some crazy shit. We brought this woman. I'm like, I don't know her. Start bringing up exes. And
You see
shit.
how you? Yo,
Shout
come
to
on,
Sly. See,
Shayna.
I don't got media training, but I got street smarts. You know what I mean? She tried to be like, and a lot of girls. There's no tapes with me in them.
Shayna
No.
trying to set you up.
No,
Yeah, she did.
I'm thinking
And I caught
because
her. I caught her.
wait,
You
you
trying to-
young
you said
and
what?
you
Who?
getting out of you in college. You met who you met already. So
How you know I ain't go to a Mormon school or some? How you know I ain't go to shul?
you a very straight man, okay?
Yeah.
And when you're young, you're
I am. You got that right.
And
Meanwhile, hair long and shit. Hey, yeah.
Crystal said she did give me a memory, like how you was like the only dude that I think could do like the genuine hair or something like that.
That's that's not really my sister online, y'all. I don't know who that person is.
I was like, for real?
That is so funny.
She did share that with me. I'm sorry.
I had flat twists for a little second.
It was
Don't be
like
mad. Don't be
just for
fucking
a
mad.
second. Yeah, she said.
Don't be mad, yo. If you seen a picture of me as a teenager or some shit like that on Black Planet with my shirt off, yo. All right? Let me tell you something, yo. Look at me now, all right? I'm a grown up. All my bills is paid. Thug shit. All the time.
I got
Rent
good
on the
credit.
first. My credit is fire.
Oh
Don't
my
make me pull
God.
out the. Don't make me pull out the.
Oh my God.
Cause see this, I'm not reaching for a gun now. It's a platinum card in here now. Shit. Fucking, I smile and got it's
Ooh.
emeralds and shit in there. This ain't the 10 carat shit. I'm not a 10 carat nigga, okay?
Breathe,
So,
Shayna.
you know,
Hands up.
If you see me with flat twists on Black Planet as a teenager, I forgive you for hating. I forgive you for hating, yo.
It's a lot of girls that can't do that
Right.
now.
Nah, they can't do it right now, man.
Right
Nah, yes,
now.
they could. They could buy the flat twist already assembled.
Yeah,
And just
I mean,
Avengers assemble, and they just assemble them
hair
shits.
hats. I know.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
no
the
shade.
hair
I wear,
mitts,
I
the
wear
hair
stuff.
mitts.
Okay,
Them shits is
different
fire,
type of time. I want to talk about the album. real
The
quick.
new album, different
Yeah.
type of time.
No, different type time.
different type time.
Yeah, no article.
No, it
Yeah.
ain't.
No,
Get your spelling
yeah,
together.
Why that title? What
Because
does it
I was just
represent?
on a different type time. I was on a different type time, not different type of time.
Mhm.
I was on a different type time when I was creating it, I think. I had to, since we're going to be safe and secure, this has been coming up more and more,
Mhm.
and it's making me confront my own, I can get withdrawn. I guess that's why we talk about like why my parents or my sibling didn't know those things about, they still don't know a lot about what happened in those chapters of my life because I'm like really private.
And that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But
That's just dope.
some of that could possibly be just related to just what other survival mechanisms or who knows, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But, you know, in a lot of interviews recently, people are asking about the gap between the record I put out just now and the one before it, which was
Mhm.
2018.
Mhm.
And they were like, well, what happened in that 6 years? Like, were you not making music, you know? And I was like, yeah, I was. Well, and also the pandemic happened.
Mhm.
And the pandemic happened, you know, months after I became a father,
Mm.
right? So all of that happened,
Fatherhood.
and a single father at that, you know.
Mhm.
So I was literally on a different type time in my life, like everything had changed. I wasn't quite sure kind of like how I felt about anything, particularly creating and putting myself back into the world. I didn't feel comfortable with the structures that were set up for me to put music and myself out in the world. It didn't seem to benefit me. And now I had a child and I'm like, is this sustainable? Like, I don't know if this is real. What is the difference between Spotify and OnlyFans? I didn't.
That's real.
And to be dealing with those thoughts also, I'm a type of person who's gonna create something anyway, whether it's an experience like the speakeasy in my crib. Y'all are watching me do things that I would do in my home anyway.
Yeah.
So now I wasn't feeling comfortable creating in my own home. Something was wrong, you know? And I had to start to get to what was wrong. And I wasn't sure. So I had to work through that, and different type time came. That's what happened, basically, you know?
Nice. I love that.
With fatherhood, how are you, what about fatherhood changed you? Like, I know you said you're on a different type time.
Yeah.
But like,
you know,
I know
How do
you're
you
different.
balance that?
Yeah, I'm working
Especially
on
a
it.
single father.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's
Single father is not easy.
Yeah.
Like,
And you're a
well,
great dad.
it's single
I just
father, not
throw that
meaning
out
that
there.
my son doesn't.
I know
have a
he
mother,
has a
right?
mom.
Yeah.
She's
My
a
son has a
wonderful mom.
co-parent.
She's a great mom.
My son has a very, you know, capable and active co-parent. You know what I mean? And even that has been its own journey that wasn't all roses.
Everybody
you know,
have
it's a
ups
work
and
in
downs,
progress.
you know?
You know what I mean? But I do have joint custody of my child, and like I see him every
Shout out
every
to you
week.
for that. Okay,
Oh,
gotta,
wow.
So it's
that
not
brother's
like I'm not
flowers.
like a weekender. No shade to that, because some dads, that's all they get.
that's all they get. And
Yeah.
that's the cards they dealt with, and life will be life.
Yeah.
Life
So,
be
you
life.
know, I've always been one to move assertively, but I think I just move way more intentionally.
Yeah.
Where I give my energy, who I'm around. I'm very home based in my home base. And most places, if I can't pull up with my son, then I don't need to be there. That's kind of like that.
I have a song from the album, right? Is it called Bad Vice?
Oh, Bad
Bad
Vice.
Vice, excuse me. Bad Vice. Where is that like
I talk about
how
some
you
of
are
that in
now?
there,
Like
yeah.
how you, if it's, I think about it first, like before
Yeah,
is
this
it benefit me?
This how,
like,
and this is also sometimes you don't have
I
full
wrote
control.
it down wrong. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know it's Bad Vice.
Yeah, nah, Bad Vice. You know, you don't always have control to how things are gonna play out.
And you gotta move strategic basically with your
and how you react to it is gonna actually determine way more than the bad circumstances.
I actually I know you personally, but I commend you on how you very calm when it comes to certain situations, because as women, okay, I'm a woman. I'm not talking bad about women, but we're emotional. We can overdo it. And that tad overdoing it sometimes can cause a lot of like problems down the line, and or you say things that that's, how do you deal with that as a man, like as a homie, lover, friend, boyfriend, husband, just a
like
father, like
in terms of the women in my life? Or?
Yes, like how you.
Well, you know the women in my family. The women in my family they're loud. They're not quiet women.
Yes, so
they don't mince words, and they don't. If there's something to be expressed, they're gonna express it, right? I come from my immediate nuclear family it's me and my dad, but it's my mom, my sister, and my grandmother, right? And it's mainly been us for most of my life. And yeah, I mean, and my mom was a lot of times the brain of the household.
Shout out to Miss Sherry.
You know what I'm saying? Like the moves, it's not that my dad wasn't the engine sometimes or the bedrock or whatever, but my mom is the ambitious one of the two. So anywhere, like the direction my family had to go, whether that's financially, whether that's to like we're moving, whatever that is, my mom spearheaded a lot of that. She was the tip of the spear for my family. So I don't necessarily have an issue around women who are assertive, or like take charge.
Okay.
I think a part of me
You're not
likes
intimidated
that.
by that.
No,
Yeah, not at all.
no.
That's lioness
That's
shit
great.
to me. Like, because like you watch lions, like the lion be over here. The lion is like, I'm watching so that funny niggas don't come over here.
Word.
But the
I'm a lion.
lionesses go hunt. They go get the
That's
food and all
right.
of that. They hunt. Because they'll fuck some shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they'll go hunt. But the lion is kind of like, and also I got y'all because if funny niggas come over here, you know,
Yeah.
Facts.
I got y'all. You
Yeah.
know
I
what
like
mean?
that.
Yeah. So I don't,
He's
We
fire.
need to hear that.
I'm gonna write that down.
yeah, I mean, there's other
You know?
dynamics with
That's
other
fire.
animals and shit,
We gonna
animals,
find it.
Yeah.
animal relationships.
How it go, Shayna?
You know, a lot of animal relationships, the woman kills the man and the woman is much bigger than the nigga in the first, you know, like insects and shit.
Hey,
They be on like, it's basically Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? It's basically Jamaica.
Right.
I mean, Shayna know about stuff like that. So, flourish.
Flourish. Mhm.
Flourish.
Mhm.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's our little flourish, nigga.
That's
Everybody deserves to
it's
flourish.
self-explanatory.
Flourish,
right? So,
nigga. Flourish.
You know, I
Flourish,
love
nigga.
this album seemed like
It's so fire.
it's so
Thank
like
you.
every word. Like I was listening to it and I was like, wait a minute, I heard that already.
Yeah.
And I was already at this. I repeated it already
Yep,
like
yep,
twice. And I'm
yep.
like,
that's what
And it's a
happens.
long album. It's long.
21,
It is,
yeah.
It's
And I
long.
love that you have the interludes. It's like I miss
I
stuff
love
like
when
that.
you talk on it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Oh
you.
my
In the
gosh.
beginning, that's what, and you hear my son a little
Yes.
bit.
Yes.
I told Crystal
Lord,
that.
yes.
And
we
she
have
was
a
like,
little-
"Where?" And I was like, "Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's on
He's
the
on the
front."
end. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah,
yo.
yeah.
My son calls rapping doing yo. And
I wanted to ask you about
I never
that.
corrected him. He'd be like, Daddy, you doing yo? I'm like, yeah, Daddy about to do yo,
Kenny.
yo. You know what I'm saying?
Do you limit like certain type of music that you have him listening to, or does he listen to your work and he watch?
Nah. No, we don't. I don't really play my work in the crib like
Uh-huh.
that. At the same time, I've been in the car with him and my song come on, let's say I'm working on something, and he'll identify my voice immediately. Like, Daddy, that's you. That's you.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, you peeped? He's like, Daddy, that's
He
you.
is really paying attention. That's
Yeah,
one smart
my
boy.
son is a Virgo to
He's
the max.
so
Yeah.
smart. It's like he look at you and he already know how what he like.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
peeping.
already
He-
analyze.
he's
He
peeping.
since he was
Yeah.
just
I know.
analyzing him.
Yeah, he's
Peeping
on
the
full.
scene.
He's on full analysis. He's asking me about every single thing possible. Why they do that? Why
Mhm,
why is this
mhm,
doing that? Why is
mhm.
that like that, Dad?
Isn't
Yeah.
that like
He's asking me
You're a
every single
dad.
thing. Yeah, I am.
you
I'm
are a
dad.
father?
Yep.
A great
Okay.
father, too.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank
You are not somebody. You're not for the weak.
No.
This
You are-
child,
you-
this
you
this
can't-
fatherhood shit ain't for the weak.
You ain't
No,
for the
it's
weak.
not.
It's not, yo.
Parenting is not for.
My son has had me in tears in the last few years more than anything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Straight
Shout out
up.
to you.
Straight
You
up.
realize you have such an emotional side when you become a parent.
Yeah, yo.
Like you just
Y'all
think
making me want to
differently
cry now.
right
like, oh my
away.
God, I can't wait
It's
till I
actually
get.
a really
Can we
beautiful
take it
thing, but it's so
pregnant?
stressful. At
Because your
the
son
same
is about to
time.
be 2.
Yeah.
he-
Watch how it, because now what's going to start to happen, the things that he's going to be able
This
to
is
start expressing
they're
verbally.
people. They're-
Yeah.
That's when
They're
it gets deep.
parenting
The,
right now. I love
Yeah.
that.
the stuff my son says to me, the questions he asks, even difficult things about my son right now is dealing with that he has 2 households.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's learning how to like flip shit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like he got in trouble at my crib the other day. But lately he's been not even getting in trouble like that. But he got in trouble and he was crying. He's like, I want to go to my big mama house. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like so now you could just bang.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
learning
and
that.
I'm like,
smart,
nah.
man.
I'm like, oh, word? All right, let's call her right now and tell her
Tell
what you doing.
did before you
let's
go.
call- Let's
Right.
call her
He's
right
like,
now.
oh no.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I know he probably like, nah, nah.
Because I gotta let him know that we speak. We're a
Mhm.
united front to support you
Yes.
and to guide you.
Yes.
We actually talk. He'll ask me questions like I'll mention someone that's more on his mother's side of things or from her family.
Okay.
And he'll be like, you know them? How you know them? Because he never seen
And
me
I
with
know
them.
he do it just like that.
Yeah, because
I
he
know-
never seen
you
me
know
with
these
them.
kids
He
be.
is
And I'm like,
so
Lord, I'm
funny.
like,
Oh
yo,
my
we was
God.
there before you was born. Like, I've been through that. Like,
How you know that?
You don't know nobody.
You don't know them.
He was like, you know them? He's like, when you was a little kid? That's what he be asking me. I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
So
nah.
cute.
Mad smart. Like, what you thinking about? Really?
Yeah.
So you trying to figure out what part of my life?
Right. Right.
Because you're older than me. You're dad. So I'm
Right.
trying to figure out what part of your life.
Right.
Like, who
He asked-
are
he
you?
asked me a lot of
They be challenging you, and they
difficult
be like 2 feet.
It's crazy.
How is that? Like,
It's just
I'm
wild.
I know
ready.
yesterday you had like a little accident in the house.
I did. Let me tell you what my son did.
Shout out to Noah.
So I go to his room so I can put him to bed. And his diaper is off in the corner and there is shit on the floor
Fire.
with pee. And he is just with his hands just
He is
making a
like-
shit mess.
Oh,
okay? With his hands, shaking his hands off. His father was like, what the fuck is this?
Ooh.
I'm like, let's run. I had to put him in the bathtub with
Yeah.
all his clothes on. Okay.
Because
And
that's
just
like
wash
normal.
him
Like,
up.
it's like,
Yeah.
why,
And
mom?
he was just like nothing.
It's
I'm not going to
just
yell and
doo-doo.
scream at him. He's a baby.
Yeah.
And his father was like, there's shit all over the place.
It's like they just
cleaning.
don't like.
Yeah.
this stinks.
And
but
then
it's mine.
I send you guys a voice note, and I find out that Pharaoh did this for his hand
5
in
minutes right
diaper,
before that.
and he was
The
touching
same
the
exact
wall.
thing 5 minutes right
So
before that.
it's like I feel like these babies have like this
Mhm.
connection of
Yeah.
let's play with our shit
Yo,
today.
so yo,
They absolutely do.
my pops, my shout out to my pops. My pops got dementia, right? And when the kids was little, my son, my sister's sons, they was all in there, one over there in the corner crying, this one over here mumbling, just
Yeah,
one
yeah.
rolling around on the floor. And my dad walked over, he was like, this the madhouse, like this is basically the psych ward.
Yeah.
And then he leaves. And I look around the room and I look like, if these was adults behaving this way, this is absolutely the psych ward. This is totally the psych ward.
I don't know.
You walk around, one nigga just crying in the
for
corner,
real.
one person just moaning, like with a
Yes,
diaper on.
yes.
I'm like, yo, this absolutely is the psych ward.
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
Why? And I know maybe I gotta say it like this. Since I've met you, right? It's not. I don't think it's just not your artistry, but it's more like, why does everybody love your family? Like, we love to be whether y'all having
Y'all
good
can have them. Y'all
moments
can have them.
or weird moments, bad moments. But it's like we want to know what's going on. And
Well-
I don't feel like people are being messy, in my opinion. Not the people that I'm around that know your family and like your close friends or
No,
outside
a lot
of
of
close friends.
people.
It's like
I mean,
they want
I've
to
known
know.
y'all since
They
I was
want to see the
15.
psych ward.
I was 15.
What you said?
I said, I've been around the family since I was 15.
For mad long.
Mad long. And I just feel like they act just like my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole talking loud in the house, that whole Caribbean vibe. Like, you just feel like you home.
My family, for better or worse, especially being property owners in New York,
Mm-hmm.
They-
Okay.
the family.
they showed us, even when my family weren't property owners, when we lived in the apartment that I grew up in, immigrant households be having visitors. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
People coming from the islands, other guests, people first time visiting the United States.
Mhm.
And my family had guests. I've seen random, like, people from England come, like,
Yeah.
just people of all
Yeah, Korean
nationalities.
people, we
too.
know everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll have, and they're used to a more international community, I think.
Mhm.
So there was that. And then in becoming homeowners, my family was very community oriented, maybe not knowing that, in the sense that they didn't aggressively participate in seeking out market rent
Mm.
when the neighborhood was changing, which would have meant they couldn't have rented to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe that was a mistake, but that allowed a lot of artists and young people to pass through
I
the building.
mean,
You see what I'm
for
saying?
real.
You guys really held it
Movies
down.
was made there,
Yep.
albums was made there, like so much happened there.
Yeah.
So people had a lot of access to my family. Now that's not
Mhm.
always the best thing, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
That's
But-
what I'm saying. Like, it's like, how did
But some
you
of these
manage
people
that?
didn't. Some of these
mean,
people didn't have
deal with
some of
that.
the family structure mine did. So
Mhm.
maybe they got some of that via proxy.
Mhm.
Some people, rest in peace, Mugatu, yo. Like
Yeah.
Mugadu's
Yeah, rest in
mom
peace,
and dad
Mugatu.
sometimes would not even be in the United States,
Mm.
right? So he would be at my crib. So it's just, I think that happens too with couples. When you're
Mhm.
like a popular couple in the community and y'all break up, it like affects the community,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because there's individuals make couples, and then couples make families,
Mhm.
and families make communities,
Yeah.
right? And my family, because we had access to my family, myself included, we got to see all these other community dynamics.
Mhm.
Even if my family didn't plan for them to happen that way, just by opening up their home.
I witnessed that
Yeah.
like plethora of times.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So it's good to see, like, even through, like you said, psych ward moments. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why in my mind I'm like, why wasn't I there? I wanted to help. I would help. And you'd be like, no. Not him, but Crystal would be like, no, you don't need to. They don't need to be putting you through this.
Yeah.
Did I be like, but I mean,
Wow.
I love them.
Wild.
Yeah.
So different type of time. Okay, another song I wanted to. Okay, this artist, how you pronounce her? Is it
Bills Egypt?
Bills?
Yo, shout outs to
Egypt?
Bills, yo. Bills
I love
Egypt.
her voice.
Yeah,
I
she
love
got a
Bills,
beautiful
yo.
voice.
Beautiful voice.
Mhm.
And another person, Seventh Ward Spy Boy. How was that?
Oh,
Like,
so seven was that's
who's
a
that?
so that's a older man talking to me, right? So all the recordings usually you hear on my albums, those are people talking to me.
Mhm.
They're
Nice.
not like downloaded skits.
Okay.
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 Those are people actually talking to me. The homeless men that's rapping on the album, that really happened. Like they came to me in 2 different cities and rapped to me. So they're all real moments.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the exception of the clip of Ty.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because I remember when
That's a
Chris was
found-
talking
that's
about
an
it,
audio.
and she was like, that was old. And I was like, what?
That's him.
'Cause
That's him
when I
as a
first heard it,
teenager.
I was like, oh shit. It was like, I could hear his voice, but the way he was rapping, I was like,
Yeah, you could tell
Yeah.
that was like 1990.
That was
It's
somebody
1997.
else.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Ty Joe 97. And that's my nod, not just to him. Obviously, his son is my nephew, right?
Shout out
Shout
to
outs
my
to Ty.
kids. Those is
But
our
it's
children.
also like, I used to talk to him a
mean,
lot.
my godsons. Our children, my godsons.
You said
I
my children.
used to
I said
talk
my
to-
children.
I used to talk to Ty just about the things that we leave behind for our kids.
Because he
You know
was
what I mean?
a rapper.
Absolutely. And he's from that era that I feel like now we look back all like charmingly and whatnot, but it's an interesting era, that mixtape era.
Mhm.
Like the G Unit mixtape era of
Oh my
hip hop,
God.
right? The DVD magazine era of hip hop.
Mm.
There's a lot of people who put their bid in to get inroads into the industry
Mhm.
that they came just at the beginning of a lot of this internet stuff.
Mhm.
But now what happened? Not all of them had breakthrough careers. And so it's
Nope.
like, and a lot of them were still in that path where they were really trying to quote unquote get on. Like they were in the industry still,
Mhm.
right? And they built a lot of the platforms that are like popular now, like Smack DVD, right? Like that's a whole
Yeah.
enterprise.
that's how it was.
But that started from those cultures. You had to buy those DVDs, right?
Yeah.
The fact, like even 50 Cent himself, right? Like he's a whole mogul now. He just opened a whole studio in Louisiana.
Yeah, shout out
Right?
to him for that.
But for us, a lot of the entryway to him and G Unit in that world was through this kind of mixtape scene, through this underground music video scene in rap. And that like carried hip hop, I think. In that like mid 2000s into the 2000s.
Yeah.
It did.
It did,
That was a
you know,
good year.
especially for
I have
New
on my
York.
Spotify. I do like playlists for certain eras.
That
You
was
know,
a
like
good
from
year.
90, even like 95.
I didn't
was a
appreciate
girl,
that era.
but
That
to
particular
like
after
2005.
That era was fire.
that mixtape era, that wasn't I didn't appreciate it as much.
Okay.
Like I rocked with the DJ Clue mixtapes,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
But
That was good too.
now in retrospect, I'm like, yo, it really held New York down so
For
crazy.
real.
Like it really held. And Ty really was a young artist in that era. He was really there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So putting that moment on wax puts it forever now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's why this is a physical record, and that's on the record. Like his son could hear that on my record.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
And what I love is that it's like no matter what, that I feel like y'all always surround yourself with other artists.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's like unknowingly because I didn't know that he was a
It's
part
a
of a
small
group with
world when you think
Papoose or
about it.
something
Yeah,
like that. So it's
he was
like
in a duo, yeah.
so it's like, yo, that's crazy. Like Ty goes back that far and it's so dope. Because,
And also a lot of all these people's music videos, their early
Yeah.
career music videos, is shot by him.
yeah, that's another thing. Like when I go down his page, I see so many different
So many
artists. I'm like,
pioneers, from pioneers to veterans.
Like, who
to
is this
artists that
guy?
Come up,
Who
Action
is this?
Bronson, all of these characters,
and he's
Ty
been
used to do
around
their
like
videos.
literally forever.
Mhm.
And just chill.
Mhm.
Just you
And
wouldn't
now
even
it's
know.
on wax. Now you know
Yeah, now
where
you
it comes
know.
from.
It's dope. The whole album, I played it like twice. Even this morning, I said, let me just get like a refresher. Because once it came out, it came out.
Yeah.
Because I think Shaka called Crystal and was like, yo, heard that. She's like, what? You heard that? So we was like, so from that moment, like even that next morning, and I listened to it, and I was like,
I think we
listened
were
to-
all playing telephone
like from
that
that
day.
from Shaka calling Crystal that night, the next
We were
morning.
all hyped.
Because I was on the phone with her
I
when
was
he called.
surprised. At this stage
Yeah,
of the
he
game,
was. He was like, amazed.
You're like,
Do you feel like, the music industry, like there's so many whack actors.
yeah, it's like when
And
I
do
listen
you
to your
feel
stuff,
like
it's so
when
dope,
you
man.
watch other people right now who are basically famous off of trash,
Mhm.
like what does that do to you as an artist? Do you feel like, yo, I'm gonna keep on going? Like, it's
I don't even. I actually don't feel. I feel like there's a lot of great music out.
You do.
Yeah, I think there's
Maybe
a
I
lot.
need to find
There's so much music, so sometimes it's like a bit much to sift through. But there's so much good music, and I'm around a lot of good music, and even the popular music. I think there's a lot of shifts that to me are not bad.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, that was gonna be
necessarily-
like
I
my
don't.
next
Yeah.
question.
I don't necessarily think like.
Yeah.
I don't feel hip hop is in a bad space. I don't think
I
the
don't think
music
so
is
either.
bad.
I
Yeah.
do.
I think you
I-
just gotta cipher. You have
All I hear is
more
Booty Hole Brown.
categories.
I
even
do
more
hear a
now.
lot of Booty Hole
And
Brown,
you just
but
cipher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she could rock.
I
you know?
call
Yeah.
Crystal and Shane. I be like,
It's just like
Bend that ass over.
it just
let that
pisses
coochie
me off.
breathe.
Like, not-
That's normal for
Yeah.
for the industry to kind of like push out a certain whatever is popular situation. That's normal. There's layers. There's layers. I mean, granted, I'm not playing Booty Hole Brown for my son or whatever, right? But I don't play me rapping about smoking weed for my son either. Or if I say nigga gratuitously, I don't play that for my son. And I be saying nigga.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's everything got its place. But if anything, I question more like how these things are delivered before I question the artist.
Right.
You know, a little bit. I mean, and if something's made for like 19 and 20-year-olds, I'm not 19 and 20. You know,
Yeah.
it might not be
That's
made
so
for me.
true.
Yeah, certain
I
shit
think
is
I
just
need to
not
look
for
at
me.
it like that.
Yeah, and people, I hear people say, and I've been hearing this forever. Like when people say, "Oh, they're a role model. You shouldn't be playing this. You shouldn't be doing that." I remember when they put Little Kim and all of these sexy artists. They had them on like the talk shows, like putting them down and everything. But at the same time, it's like you parents now. You really gotta police with your.
Let's keep it real too. I was a little ass boy walking around like, back the fuck up, singing Onyx, throw your guns in the air. And they was showing the guns on TV. You could, you know, Onyx,
I was
time to get live. Acting crazy, all right? Acting crazy. And I'm a little ass boy. And my mom had no idea. I was watching Mike Geronimo roll blunts, throw the Dutchess in the screen, all of that shit. And niggas is yo. Niggas voices. Niggas was also smoking dust in that era. They was doing all of these dances. I rhyme so wild and I'm like this and I'm wild. I'm like, them niggas is in jail. All them niggas went to fucking jail. Niggas was in fucking Rikers, 16, 17, Spofford. Nori is telling y'all now.
So Nori, shout out to Drink
Nori
Champ.
was like, yo, I was in Spofford. Nigga, I was in Spofford House for Boys. So we romanticized what niggas was on. But when I was a kid, niggas was fucking wildin'. Excuse my language.
So true.
They was tripping. And in fact, the whole era, if you was a kid, God bless you. If you was from the Northeast, specifically New York, but if you was from the Northeast, because DC, Philly, all that shit, Baltimore, wild out shit. Between fucking, if you was an adolescent between the 80s to 2008, nigga, you seen some crazy shit.
So
I don't care what the fuck. We hear, oh nah, yo, son, whether it's, all of it is wild.
Yeah.
Ciara bench press Bow Wow, that's wild. Everything is wild. It's just which slice of wild this shit is wild. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, Ciara, do your thing, girl.
Like, you know, like we acting like that shit was fucking ABC and them niggas. Them niggas, like, that's not the kids I want my son around.
My southern side.
Imagine ABC pull up to your son's birthday party, like Aisha, the fucking pants and shit, or fucking illegal, or these little boys, these niggas smoking blunts. They like 10 years old.
I hear you.
Them niggas was crazy.
Oh
bro.
my God.
Southern side,
Mobb Deep was like 14 years old. Them niggas was talking about Hennessy and shit.
No, that is true.
Come on, man. I wish a little 14-year-old boy come tell my son about some fucking Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here with that shit. That's crazy.
On my southern side, I'm sorry. We used to listen. I was a little girl, so we was into the old school R&B, doing the butt sex. So I get it. Like I was a little girl.
Don't stop
singing that, and it was like
Doodle Brown. Yeah, you was a kid
they
grinding on girls to Doodle Brown. You like 12, getting a chubby. You out here getting a semi off for somebody's daughter
junior
at
high
the
school,
fucking junior high school getting Doodle Brown. Baby, when you're grinding, I
Right.
get so
That's my mother's
excited.
favorite
Niggas sing
song.
about erections. Come on, man. We acting crazy. Those was grown ass men. Them niggas was not no 16.
We was in high school, right? Is that when that song came out?
They was men.
Y'all was older than me, but I'm just saying because
Them niggas was men.
I'm not
they wasn't
that old.
I don't know. I'm just
13.
saying. I don't know.
They wasn't
I'm not
13.
that old.
I was just saying it because I feel like
This nigga Tevin Campbell was singing Prince lyrics out here. I'll do you after school like homework.
Oh my God.
Niggas is doing you after school like homework. I was trying to make out in this back staircase in my junior high school.
I think a lot of people were.
I was doing it. Actually, I'm gonna keep it real. I was doing that.
I had my first kiss in junior high school. Yeah, my first kiss.
Mine was
my
a little
boyfriend for
earlier.
2 days, and then it was done. That was done.
They called my house.
Shayna.
Yup. And it was a voice. It was they left a voice
not
message. I was trying to
Mrs.
delete it.
Oh wow.
My dad was so.
Oh no, my mom. Nah.
Your daughter
She
was
was
called
okay.
Kissing in the Hole.
They called the radio station and dedicated Weak in the Knees to me on the radio when I was a little boy. And all these girls called my parents' answering machine, giggling and leaving messages and shit, and I got in trouble. I didn't even hear the shit. I didn't even know it happened. this girl called Hot 97 was like, I want to dedicate this to my government because he got me wigging in this.
Oh my God.
And had
Who
me
was
fucked
who was
up.
the radio jock person? Who was,
I don't
was it
remember.
Angela,
I didn't hear it.
whatever?
I didn't hear it.
Oh,
I didn't hear
man.
it.
I
When
remember
we
back
came
in the day
home,
you did
I can't
that.
imagine coming home with Caribbean parents and his man messages the light.
They about to fuck
and they
you
hit
up.
the answering messages like all that type of
They
shit.
fucking you. Like, it's,
Like 13
why
of those.
is that? Like
I did it. Like somehow I did it. I was with y'all all day.
the girls. The girls.
Do you have these girls calling here?
Oh my God.
It means I did something bad in school, apparently.
They wanted you.
It's like Saturday. You know what I mean?
Saturday was the cleanup day, Bible study for me, and then because you gotta get ready for church the next day too.
Clean toilets in the morning.
No, just clean
I
on
had to clean
Saturday.
toilets
Listen
in
to
the
music,
morning.
listen
It
to
was
Sade and all that.
clean.
Baker.
Clean, do Bible study until like 1 o'clock after that. And then after 1 o'clock, I was able to watch a little bit of TV until like 5. And then, let me go outside. And then I go
Go
outside.
outside, play double.
Can't
and
leave
then I
in front of the
come back.
building.
Yeah.
You can't leave in front of the
Right,
building.
because my grandmother will stick her head
Can't
out and
leave
call
in
me,
front of the building.
Shayna. And they would call me. They were like, your grandmother, she calling you. So, and then if I get back in the house, as soon as it get like dark out, come back inside, watch a movie with her or in heat of the night or something, whatever the movie's
In the
on.
heat of the night.
You know what I'm saying? Because at one point I used to want to watch those
In the
shows.
heat of the night.
And then it was
With
like
Sidney
it was like
Poitier?
an old school. Yeah, it was
That's
like
what's
an
on
old
there,
school
right?
Law and Order.
48? Yeah, that
was
means
like
you
an
going to
old-
sleep.
Yeah.
They're trying to get you to go to sleep.
It was an old school Law and
Off
Order.
top.
But I was able to stay up during those times with her because I'm like,
Or
oh my-
MASH.
Yeah, or MASH. Or MASH. Was, MASH,
Motherfucking
you better be
MASH
asleep.
came on. I mean, bedtime, nigga.
Yes. Okay.
That's how you know it was tough for you
What
to
I
go to
wanted
bed.
to ask you. So okay, this is
Back on track.
another
Right.
family. No, this is something. Okay, he has a different type of humor, and I don't know what. I don't know how he did it, and I want the people to know.
Mhm.
How did you make people believe that Da had a butt scanner because you didn't? He told you not to let nobody ride
That
your
wasn't
bike.
humor. This is the thing. My sister likes to tell these stories. My sister
you
likes
tell
to
the
tell these
people,
stories
'cause-
about me. That wasn't humor. That was called surviving Brooklyn. Okay.
I really
First of all, shout out Shaka King. Me and
shout out
Shaka,
to Shaka.
Shout out
were,
to
he was
Shaka.
my only friend, and Malcolm, who had a mom and dad at home.
Okay.
Most of my homies had single moms, keeping it a buck.
Right.
Like 90% of them had a single moms, which meant they could do shit that I couldn't do, like commit crimes, right? My father was still there and cared, and I had a bike that I did not steal that he purchased and I got for Christmas. But he's also who he is. So you have a bike, you can't leave in front of the building, which means you ride around fucking circles. You see
You
what I'm
ride
saying?
around the car.
You riding around in fucking circles, okay?
That was a song too.
Cool. So now you live in Brooklyn. Now, if for those not familiar, I grew up in an apartment building. You live on these blocks. It's all apartment buildings, right? My apartment building is a 4-building complex. Okay, 6 stories. There's probably at least 10 apartments on each floor. That's mad. That's just my building. There's a building across the street like that. There's one next to me like that. Okay, so this is late 90s and them eras, early 2000s. Yo, not all the kids in all the homes are good kids.
Nope.
Okay, there's a lot of kids. All right, not everybody. Most of them don't got a dad. Not everybody got a bike. Every 10 seconds, niggas is asking, yo, let me get a ride on your bike. Let me get a ride on your bike. Yo, let me get a ride on your bike. Yo, Keefy, let me get a ride on your bike. Yo, Keefy, let me get your bike. Yo, stop playing. Let me get a ride on your bike. Keefy, let me get yo, come on, son. Let me get your bike. Yo, let me ride your bike. Let me get a ride on your bike. Why you being like that, Keefy? Let me get a ride on your bike. That's what you hear all day. I'm riding around in circles. It's the equivalent now how everybody asks you for a cigarette.
Oh my God.
Right? Everybody's asking me for a ride on my bike. Now,
That's real Brooklyn.
I can't give you a ride on my bike.
my
One,
God.
because you're gonna steal it. And 2, I'm gonna get in trouble if I let you steal it.
And
I'm
you
gonna
don't
get
want
in
that
trouble.
type of trouble.
Right? And I don't want that type of trouble.
Don't want
my
that.
dad is not a big man, but niggas on my block were scared of my dad.
He
Yeah.
definitely
He's scary.
Scary.
He's scary.
He's scary.
He's Bob
gave-
Barker. My
Yeah,
pops
he's
is
scary.
Bob Barker. So I was tired of people asking me that, and I also didn't want to be a punk and get beat up like, yo, my dad said you. Like niggas
Yeah.
don't care like, my dad said you can't.
You quick. He is quick on his
So I
feet.
was quick, and I didn't like shrink, you know. So I wasn't big then, and I got smaller now. That means I was
Right.
even smaller then. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
nice hair.
So I was like, yo, on the reels, I can't give you a ride on my bike, yo. Why? My dad
Why?
got a butt print machine. And if my dad scans the seat on my bike and it's not my butt print, he gonna come out here and fuck everybody up, basically. And I would be dead fucking
I know you. The way you stand in my eyes right now, I feel like you're telling me the truth.
Most of these niggas didn't graduate high school off my butt. I'm keeping it a fucking buck. Okay? These is older niggas than me. All right? I was steadily the youngest nigga, but they would be like, yo, Keefe's smart. That's why a lot of niggas, because I wasn't, you know how they got some niggas like, yo, he can't come outside, right? Fortunately, I wasn't a he can't come outside nigga.
Yeah.
I had to go inside. I couldn't be outside like you could be outside,
Right.
but I could come outside. But a lot of them type of niggas in my block also, if I didn't even want to do nothing bad because I was scared of my dad. So that was one too. Even if anything bad, they'd be like, nah, keep smart. Like that was like the reason why I wasn't gonna get beat up or I was funny or whatever they
Like,
thought.
how you beat up the smart nigga? How you beat up the smart boy?
Because they would have questions about crime. They're like, how you get the, oh, you could put that on there. Oh, see, Keefe's smart. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like that type of shit. But yeah, butt print machine meant you couldn't ride my bike because if my dad scans my bicycle seat and sees that I wasn't riding it, it's gonna be all hell on St.
That is
Mark's
some
Avenue.
real
And niggas stop asking me to
discipline.
ride my motherfucking bike. Except one time it did get stolen, but Eddie in the wheelchair got it back for me. on some
Eddie in the
gangsta shit.
wheelchair.
Shout outs to Eddie. God rest in peace. Eddie got my shit back for me in the wheelchair, like a gangster, Brooklyn shit,
Shout out to
like this, all the way down the block, and came back with my
Shout
shit
out
on his
to
shoulder,
Eddie.
like, yo, Keith, you don't know nobody ride your bike. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he was Spanish?
Yeah, he's
He's
Puerto
Latino?
Rican. He's Puerto
Oh,
Rican.
okay. Shout
Yep.
out to the
Shout outs to Eddie, yo.
Yeah.
Eddie was Puerto Rican Eddie, yo. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that's the story of my bike.
I'm gonna use that.
That's personal
use
to
that for
me.
Noah.
You know what I'm saying? I needed to know, like, I needed him to say his side.
I was ahead
You know
of
what
the
I'm saying?
technology.
Shout out to you, Crystal.
They probably got that now.
I know, right?
Right now
It
they
was
scan your
funny.
child's seat.
It was funny when she said it, but I needed to hear it from you.
Yeah, my sister's she's put it in my fucking business. I would put my sister business in the street. Yo, I got some stories, Crystal. Why you ain't talking about the dance contest at Restoration Plaza? You supposed to do the dance contest, but you drank too much juice, didn't you? You drank too much juice when everybody told you don't need a big ass cup of juice, a little ass girl. So you were supposed to do but guess what? Did you dance? Did you dance at the dance contest? No, you threw up. Why? Because you drank too much blood clot juice. Why you ain't tell everybody else drink up the
I
blood
never
clot
heard that
juice?
story.
You ain't tell that story,
I
right?
never
I
heard
You
never
drink
that
a
heard
big
that
glass of
story.
juice. Or you drink a big glass of juice. You go outside dancing and jumping. You ain't tell that story, right? Oh, okay.
Nah, she never told us that.
Oh, so tell them about
No.
why you ain't telling about the dance contest,
Oh
Crystal?
my God.
Why you ain't? Come on, son. Tell your stories.
Crying.
Tell your stories, man.
I'm really
Come on, you supposed to dance, man.
okay. We got a little some time. Okay, we gotta get back because it's so much. I'm gonna tell you right now. This right here is like a historian.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much.
Tell
we
us
could talk
about the beeper.
Yes, the beeper.
The
Let's get
beeper's
to
on.
Yes.
back to the album.
Beeper's on, okay? I was on live recently.
What's the number? So what's his name? Could put
I got
it
a
on the
toll-free
screen.
number nationwide. It's 888-200-8409. You can call me. No, you can't call me. That's a lie. You can page me. You can page me. You can leave a message. If you heard the record, you can leave a message about that. If you don't like the record, you can leave a message about that. It's going to get deleted either way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to listen to them. You know what I mean? And I'm having a telethon tomorrow, low key. So you could call then too. We still selling the vinyl. It's fire. Today's the 7th interview. My vinyl is on some, know your mathematics, God. You know what I mean? My album costs $70, right? 707.
Okay.
You feel me? See? Divine. So check it out. But yeah, hit the number 888-200-8409. It does page me. And really it's because I want to create in this situation now where we are so digital. It's good that this is a podcast, right? Like you're experiencing this digitally, but I'm here with people I care about in real life. Like we're supporting each other real time, right?
Thank you.
That's kind of the energy I want to keep, even though it's funny and it's entertaining. It's also, I want to create more ways that we can access something that feels real, sometimes familiar, sometimes nostalgic, but it makes you do something. You know what I mean? I want to hear your voice because I'm putting my voice out there. I'm putting my story out there. And we get to hide now. We get to be anonymous. So, yo, you tell me, let me hear your voice, right?
Yeah.
And you can send me a page and I'm really getting it. So that's what the number's about.
I love that.
I love that. Can I ask you, what artists are you listening to today that influence you?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And,
I'm around a lot of great artists. Some people have heard, some people they haven't. Shout outs to Quelle Chris. That's my brother.
Oh yes,
Quelle.
Grammy nominated
it's-
Quelle Chris.
The
I remember y'all
listening
spent
is
Thanksgiving in
you and him are gonna
Yeah,
on
Quelle.
Tuesday?
Yeah, so the listening event tomorrow in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Quelle will be
Mhm.
DJing it at Mint Gallery, and yeah, I've been listening to Quelle, making music with him. Who else am I listening to? I'm listening to Billy Woods. Shout outs to Billy Woods and Arm& Hammer. Some people may or may not know another top rated album. Very forward thinking music. Very I don't know. A lot of stuff is coming on my radar lately. Alchemist just dropped a new record with Oh No that I heard a couple joints on. I need to hear the record fully. What else did I catch recently? Shout outs to Pink Seafood, man. That's
Yes.
my bro.
Oh
He
my
always got
God,
something
yes.
dope going on. He
Mhm.
just dropped a mixtape. Yeah, a lot of my peers, man. I'm listening to a lot of my peers.
so dope.
Shout outs to Maroof. I don't know if y'all know Maroof. That brother, he's a father as well. Pink
I'm
Seafood's a
looking
father.
up all of these guys.
Yeah,
I'm about to look up all of these guys. Pink
music
Seafood,
that's
I
really
know.
dope. Yeah, and you know, don't get it twisted, man. These are artists who are moving the needle, man. Grammy nominees, some of them Grammy
And you guys
winners.
are performing, y'all on stage
We on
together.
tour, yeah.
How like crazy is that? Like y'all I seen y'all at 1084. And
Yeah,
then it's
shout outs to
like-
Rap Ferreira, who I'm touring with in May. Another brilliant mind thinker. He's also a father. He has his own record store in
Mhm.
Nashville.
That's good.
You're signed to someone, or is it like a
The record came out. I'm not a signed artist.
Mhm.
The record came out on Backwoods Studios
Okay.
label,
Yeah, I
which
see
is
a lot of
actually
that.
Billy Woods' label.
Okay.
And it's my first project with a label, actually. Everything I've done to this point before then has been completely independent. Yeah.
And it's so dope. Shout out to you for that.
Thank
For
you.
real.
Thank
Like
you.
you're independent. The catalog is crazy.
Thank
Yeah.
you, yo, really.
So, is there anything else you want to talk about more? Like, just let people know more about you, just before we close it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm grateful to all the listeners. I'm grateful for people tuning in to
Mhm.
platforms like this. I think we want to be connected and remain the things that feel like authentic and genuine. So I'm just happy to be a part of that. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, and if my art and what I'm contributing to the world can help foster that, that's my dream.
Will you come back to see us when you come
Oh, of
back in
course.
town?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great having you.
I feel
Thank
like with
you.
so much more I could
You're
talk about
fucking
with
hilarious.
you.
Nah,
Okay.
It's so much we could talk
I'm
about.
not a
with you.
rapper. I just play one on TV.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And Shayna and you are parents. It's like
Mhm.
I've seen you guys grow. Like I met you like
I've-
random,
Yeah.
and then I was at you and I was like, okay, I love them. I love you guys a lot. Okay.
We're a
But
family,
we love you too,
man.
Shayna.
We love
thank
you
you.
too.
And where to find you on your social medias and
Yeah.
what you
Yeah,
got going on, what's up and coming next.
That's right.
Next
A
month
lot.
or
A lot
something.
is coming. The tour happening through May. I have a website. It's cavwins.com. My social handles are cavwins. Like I'm at cavwins on Instagram. I'm at cavwins on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Where to get the album?
You can get the album right now through backwoodsstudios.com. That's Backwoods and Studios with a Z at the
Okay.
end. Or you can go on my website too, cavwins.com, and it'll direct you to there. You could just go on the site, and it's also streaming everywhere if you want to stream. But if you really want to support, you can buy the vinyl or the CD or the cassette.
We're gonna support.
Yeah, you know, I really think these things are becoming great archives
Yeah.
of the culture.
I see a lot of vinyl stores opening in
Mhm.
my neighborhood where I work at.
Really?
A lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
That I
if
do see.
Spotify were to look what just happened to TikTok, like I think we need to pay attention to these things.
Right.
If that could happen to any platform, it could be taken
That's
from
why you gotta
during the
support.
pandemic, during Black Lives Matter, we saw people getting censored on a lot of platforms. We saw during the pandemic people being censored on platforms for misinformation, quote unquote. So your speech is not free on platforms that are privately owned.
Mhm.
Right,
Mm.
and these are and your intellectual property is at their mercy. So it doesn't mean don't rock with them. At the same time, just make more informed choices. You know, we were talking earlier about the same with cannabis, right? And that's what my whole bring back weed spots was. It's
Mhm.
all about just
Oh
being
my God, it's
just
so
being
much
informed.
more. Okay.
You know,
One more question. Two
Sure.
more questions. Three more. Okay.
1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 4 more.
Back real quick.
Mhm.
Shayna was in your video.
I was.
Oh, back in the G, hell yeah. Mhm.
2
Okay, your
videos, too.
visuals. Your visuals game.
Yeah.
Two videos.
Your visual game when y'all was out in the
The field.
greenery.
Mhm.
That place was gorgeous.
When you do that, right? When I see your videos
Mhm.
and it's like a storytelling at the same time,
Mhm.
and then it's like You bring it to life, of course, but it's like, how do you come up with stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like, and that was like on your independent time. Like,
Yeah,
you know, it's
well,
just,
that era, thanks to Shayna, my sister, Chantel Nunn,
I remember
you know,
Chantel.
yeah, you know, Kat, all those people played versions of who they are in real life. Chop, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know Chop. I know
Everyone so
I call her Manifest.
Yeah, you know, all of
the
those
other
people.
one, shoot, I forgot her name.
Yeah, they all essentially, you know, played versions themselves. That era for me, which is still the era I'm in, I wanted to, one, show a world that I'm not the only one in it, and it not just be focused on me. And I had made a decision in like 2014 at my first formal release, Chief, that I wasn't gonna be like rapping at the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to add on to the storytelling, add on to the world I was building with the music. And that was the path I took. So how do I deliver that visually with, you know, without rapping to the camera, you know? And the people around me, I think, are beautiful people, and whether they know it or not, and if they allow me the opportunity to be a part of my artistic universe, they can step in there, and it's kind of like, you know, that again, they're just playing a version of themselves.
That was a real dope project. I really enjoyed being there.
Thank you.
Camera.
Yo, I be filming people, so I'm saying.
When
Safe and secure.
shall I be in the video?
Yeah. My sister's asking me every day, like, yo, when you gonna put me, like,
Tom.
my sister's like,
Shayna
write
to
me
be
a
in the
rap.
video.
My sister's like,
just
write me a rap.
I
Just
was in
tell
a
me a
few.
time
I
and
was
a
in a few.
place if you need-
Do you have like just a time capsule of all the speakeasy? I was in a speakeasy video camera one time.
No, that, you know what's funny that you mentioned that, and again, rest in peace, Mugatu. Mugatu and Alex Seal, who I still collaborate with till this day. We did visuals for Different Type Time as well. Different Type Time has a visual for almost every song. I'm about to put out a DVD actually version of the record, right? But anyway, through filming, we got to document a lot, pretty much almost all of the speakeasies. So we have this amazing archive of like artists from all around the city and their communities.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Like at one point we did make a DVD of it years ago, but you know, I'm not sure now what to do with that.
Please,
archive,
like, just whatever you do. I don't care if I have to hand out bottles of water when y'all premiere that and do a party. And, you know, I want to be there. I'm going to be like,
I don't know what to do with it. It's definitely an
whatever you
amazing
decide, I
archive.
want to be there.
Yeah, no, we got to figure that out.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen.
We could do this all day.
He gotta come back.
Yeah,
so,
he has to come back.
And we're gonna talk about more, whatever you want to talk about. So thank you for tuning in to the Safe and Secure podcast. Shayna, anything to say?
No,
anything
I'm just so happy that you came, and like we have to do this again.
Because Shayna was a video girl at one point.
I was a video.
Check the video out. What video she was in?
Same socks. We got
What video? See what I'm saying? Different types, huh? What video was you in when
East Coast Medina?
East Coast Medina and Switch It was it?
What video I was in? It wasn't on yet, but it's coming.
Yeah. That was the last of my rap to the camera days.
I love that. Okay. Social media, Shayna Smiles on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube, Safe and Secure Podcast.
We out of here.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having us. You.